Hello, welcome to another episode of Career Conversations. My name is Rob Goodman. I'm the Natural Sciences Career Specialist here at the University of California, Merced. Joining me today are very special guests from CANON who are going to really talk about some really awesome innovations that are happening within their industry and possibly even some career opportunities that you may be interested in if you are a student or beyond. We host these podcasts every single week. It's our hope that you check in and you really inform yourself on really awesome opportunities that may be out there that you may have not known of, as well as prepare yourself for possible changes within the industry or trends that are upcoming in the industry itself. So welcome. I appreciate you here today. I want to begin today with our first question, and sort of an introduction question for yourself. And it's the question that everyone always receives in an interview, no matter what. And so I wanted to give you the question that everyone receives, which is, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Carla. I am a UC Merced alumni, graduate of class of 2015 as a public health major. Started my career within recruiting and human resources with Aerotech, recruiting for their SRC team, which is their national team. I specialized in their government operations project, working in the shipyards. I decided to part ways with Aerotech and go more into corporate and internal recruiting to further my career. With CANON, I am now a talent acquisition specialist. I do work out of Long Beach, but working everywhere on the western zone of the United States.
Hello, so my name is Fallon. I always tell people like Jimmy Fallon. A little bit about myself. So I actually got into HR by accident. I started my career as a dispatcher, and one day my supervisor came to me and said, "Hey, how would you like to get off the phones for maybe 3 or 4 weeks? HR is a little backed up." Of course, I'm like, yes, I don't have to talk to members right now. Of course, I will get off. A month project turned into 3 months, and then ended up turning into an actual HR coordinator position, which then led to a recruiter position where I was with my previous employer, Claims Management Solution, for over 10 years. After that, I went into a leadership position, and now I am the Senior Talent Acquisition here with CANON over the Western region.
Fantastic. Now, I always see you at the Consumer Electronics Show. It's a show I always try to go to every single year. Really, it's a 200,000 person show, over 3,000 companies. But it's really known for as like focusing itself as the innovation showcase of the world, really focusing on trends and really where we're going with technology. And CANON's always there. And so within your company, what types of trends are you currently seeing?
One we're seeing right now, especially that's been pushed a lot because of the pandemic, is remote production. We've been focusing a lot with that. This is our new normal. So a lot of companies had to adapt really quickly with moving their staffs from being a regular Monday through Friday in the office to working remote. So CANON is a top trend with that, is making sure that we had all of our equipments up, making sure that our teams were able to not miss the beat. That is one of the trends that CANON is working with, as well as with broadcasting. Like you said, at the Consumer Electronics Show, CANON is there, and they're always making sure that we have the products out there. And in broadcasting, how we're here right now, they had to make sure with the pandemic that you can't have a lot of people in one place, want to make sure with safety. So there is a product that we have right now, which I believe it's called the CANON XC, I forget the numbers, but it allows you to broadcast from home using an IP address. I believe that was used recently during the Super Bowl. And you seen we had a fantastic show. I mean, Rihanna's performance was amazing. You would have thought that there was 1,000 staff members there, but no, a lot of people helped run that show from their living room with the product. So that's how we definitely, it's a lot of the trends, just to give you guys just a little bit of taste there.
Yeah, exactly. And we were actually discussing a little bit pre-programming about direction a lot of students I'm seeing really going is going into like content creating. It's really fun to watch them really engage in that area. And I always say Canon's sort of in that space. They're the ones that have the equipment for a lot of that sort of self-discovery and putting content creators out there and really helping create that brand. So it's really, really interesting to see how Canon's growing, adapting with the times, and it's pretty significant for the 21st century. On the idea of trends, how can our current students really prepare themselves for new trends that you're seeing within the company? Anything they can do right now to prep?
I think with the pandemic, everyone has been having to adapt to different ways of learning. I mean, we all went remote at some point. And even from before to now, the trends of creating, using electronic books. We do have a printer that actually prints out a book from Amazon in a matter of a day, if not less, when before we used to think, hey, we're ordering a book, it's going to take a lot longer. We were having to make a line at the student store to make sure that we were going to be able to actually grab a copy. So just being open to change and always looking for ideas of how to move away from having to either be in the office or be in a classroom, and just make sure they're staying on task. I do see that sometimes when we do go remote, a lot of companies, they're scared that their employees are not going to actually be doing the work they have to be, and they're going to fall behind. But numbers have shown that people have stayed even more productive while being able to work from home. So I think just being able to continue to demonstrate that, and if you're a student, being able to get your schoolwork done and staying connected with your professors.
I think that's really good advice. I think our students could definitely look at that. If students are interested in joining your organization, what recommendations can you give them to increase their visibility in the application process? What can make them competitive?
I think coming from an alumni of just the UC system, or even a recent graduate, 2019, guys, I really hope it hasn't been that long. But always putting yourself out there, not giving up on the first no. When I was graduating and I would see big name companies like Canon, I know Milwaukee is another big company that would come to campus to go ahead and talk about their current positions. I was scared to approach them. I felt like you were going to need experience. They were going to look for a resume that really hit on either sales or HR, and I wasn't going to be qualified. And I always stayed within starting up companies. And I realize now that I form a part of such a big team that no, we do have positions that are open for entry level, that they are willing to train you. So I do, like I said, continue to just put yourself out there. Don't take the first no. If you get a rejection email, follow it up with why. What can I do better next time? Even if it's sometimes you're not applying for a position, just reaching a talent acquisition specialist or someone within the company to go ahead and just have them remember you. Yesterday, actually, we have a really funny story. We were at another career fair in Long Beach, and we had a guy who's like, hey, I'm really interested. I just got laid off my position with T-Mobile. He's like, and I have a lot of sales business to business. He's like, how can I, like, what do you guys have available? And I was like, we ran him. We ran him through the system, through their system. We got his resume, talked to him. And to really make an impression, he came back and he was like, here's some chocolates. Happy Valentine's Day. We really remembered him. He submitted his application an hour later. He's like, you saw Kim? And I was like, yes, I did. I was like, okay. I was like, so now we have, we put a face to his name. And I think just making sure that anyone who's recruiting or anyone who might be hiring, they remember you. Whether it's you constantly emailing them to where's the process like, what do you have anything available? And even LinkedIn, I feel like we're not really pushed to use LinkedIn as students. Yes, you create a profile, but just staying on top of it, updating it constantly, making sure that your information is up to date. I will tell you right now, we do look at them and we do compare it to the resume you're submitting.
And I was just piggyback on that. I was going to mention LinkedIn, TikTok. actually social media, Instagram. You want to make sure when you do have those interviews, stand out, send a thank you letter to that recruiter, to that hiring manager. Follow up. Those things really stands out. Make sure you do your research on the company because they will ask you the questions. What do you know about the company? Why do you want to work for this company? You do those things, they remember you. Like Carla said, the minute we saw his resume, we was able to put a face to that, and we're like, okay, this is the person. He's definitely interested. He wants to know more about the company. He knew about the company, how long the company's been around. I mean, he was telling us more about the company. We're like, okay. So those are just a few things definitely to make yourself stand out there. And if you have funny stories like, hey, Jimmy Fallon, people call me Fallon, and say, like Jimmy Fallon. Oh, you can remember me easily.
Yeah, I think like what taglines, having stories, being passionate. I think those are all things that you're sort of describing in a great candidate that you usually look for. And so I think that's great advice for our students, maybe even great advice for others that may be watching as well. That really is the secret sauce out of really any networking or interview that you're sort of trying to approach. So I love the advice. What experiences and skill sets do you typically seek when hiring a new employee or an intern? Other than the big three that you just mentioned earlier, are there any skill sets that really stand out for a lot of students? Anything like, let's say you're an engineer, computer science, data science, say you're into chemistry or physics, any core skills that they need to take a look at?
I would say definitely whatever position that you are looking to get into, you want to make sure that you study that position really well. That's always going to be the key, is always learning. Things change at the drop of a dime. So when I'm sourcing for someone, I'm definitely looking to see what their background is in, if they're willing to learn. What do they do outside of maybe after already graduating? How are you continuing to educate yourself to better improve yourself in your personal and professional life in that position? What are you looking to gain? What are your 3-5 year plans that you have for yourself? Are you looking to continue up a certain path? Are you looking to come into the company and maybe dabble a little bit in each field? I know for myself in HR, I'm more on the talent acquisition side, but I've learned a little bit about the benefits, a little bit about comp, a little bit about oh gosh, I just can't think of when they hurt themselves. But just a little bit, just always, how you are trying to better professionalize yourself there. Just some of the little things that I look for when I'm sourcing for applicants to come join the team.
I think myself, if I'm looking for an engineer, and like anyone within the engineering field, right? I know that talking to friends who graduate as mechanical engineers, talking to people who are trying to get into the world of engineering, just getting your foot in the door there might be a little bit difficult. I hear people say, hey, it's who you know, the relationships that you build. But now that I start to go ahead and look at these resumes, I'm like, okay, what kind of skill sets that they have? If you're an engineer, we're looking for you to be mechanically inclined, for you to be driven by continue to use those mechanics, right? So it really depends on the engineering field. For us technicians, I always like to say, hey, our level 1 techs are entry level. If you are a mechanical engineer, you might be good for a level 2. And now you have your foot in the door. From there, we have level 1 to level 4. And then we do have engineering positions, a little bit more skill sets that we probably wouldn't give to a recent graduate. But if you're building that relationship and you're being taught within our field, within the industry, for us is digital and printing services, then we're like, hey, he's a fit now. We could do promotions within the company instead of going externally.
Absolutely. I think that'll answer a lot of our student question. Now we come to my favorite question. It's a question that everyone gets asked on this programming. It sort of makes it's very casual. But as many people know, my arch nemesis is the bubblegum flavor in ice cream. I just don't get it. It tastes like bubblegum. If you're gonna want that flavor, why not just chew bubblegum? Why eat ice cream? It's sort of strange. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? Why is it not bubblegum?
So, through college, I became a coffee addict to be able to stay awake, right? Prepare for exams and get homework done. I love anything coffee, so I will say my favorite my favorite ice cream flavor is coffee. Why not bubblegum? I just don't like the sweetness of it. To me, it's too much. And like you said, if I wanted bubblegum, I would just chew on it. And even if I'm chewing bubblegum, it's mostly mint. So anything too sugary for me, it's out the door.
And for me, so my family is going to say, oh my gosh, we knew she was going to say this. My favorite ice cream is Ben & Jerry Chunky Monkey. Just walnuts, the chocolate, the banana flavor. I love it. Surprisingly, as a kid, I was one of those kids who ate the bubblegum ice cream. And it was tied between the strawberry shortcake on a stick. So I am so sorry, but yes, I did used to like it as a kid. I don't know, something about that weird sugary bubblegum taste. It was like where you can't swallow your bubblegum. I mean, you could as a kid, but it was frowned upon. But then I outgrew it, and now Ben & Jerry.
Notice that I don't even think Ben & Jerry's has a bubblegum flavor. I've never seen it. That's that question. Again, my arch nemesis is the bubblegum flavor.
But what's
ice
your
cream.
favorite?
Mine, I'd have to say it's like mint chocolate chip, like the classics. Those things are great. I love some Ben & Jerry's. The Americone Dream is fantastic as well. I love that flavor. But you can't go wrong with mint chocolate chip. It's just a standard flavor. Back to really helping our students understand themselves over at Canon. What are you most excited about in terms of the future of Canon? Why is now the time to work in the space?
How much time do we have?
As long as you want. We could spend 8 hours on this if you want.
What am I excited about Canon? Everything. Canon is getting ready to come up, I believe, on 86 years. They are just never stop growing. They love to think outside the box, and just providing everything. It's such a large organization, but it's ran like a family. Everyone is definitely willing to reach out and lend a hand and make sure, that we're all successful. It's a longevity company. We just celebrated several of our employees who did 40 years with the company. One just retired. But now is the time to definitely join. If you're definitely looking to a place to come and get your foot in the door to learn and grow, this is the company that you want to be with. The Canon strives on making this your home, your last stop. Definitely growing. They definitely promote within. They mentor, give you the skills to be successful. And one day, I'm looking forward to saying, okay, seeing my name, Fallon Logan, 40 years, and I say, okay, it's time to retire from the company. That's just a few things, definitely looking forward to the company, seeing all of the new equipment that we have coming out, some of the printers in our showroom, just excited about everything, the softwares, just everything about the company.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing so much. Any last words regarding that?
So, I do think Canon does have a big future. When I started recruiting for Canon, a lot of people used to tell me, hey, how did you guys come up from the pandemic? And I feel like that's why I would recommend it's a place for people to go ahead and continue to apply, continue to work in this space. They didn't shut down. They didn't go into, hey, we just do printers, right? We have printing services, but no one's in need of that. That's it. No, they found a way to be innovative and continue to fit in the place that we were in. So they started creating the signs that we would see on the stores around the mall, staying 6 feet apart, they were actually printing those out. They're continuing to just create products to help the current situation that we're in, because I mean we're still working with it. And like Fallon said, aside from us continuing to grow, they've never forgotten their employees. I know my director, Kevin, if he watches this, something that's really impressed me with him is I could go to him like, hey, someone from San Jose reached out, and I tell him his name, and he knows exactly who I'm talking about. He's like, oh yeah, like he was just with his family the other day visiting. I'm like, what? I'm like, Kevin, how do you know this? I'm like, you remember all of your employees by name. You have a connection that links to them. Like we talked about the interview process, right? Making yourself stand out, making yourself memorable. He does that. He goes ahead and connects something to someone, a story from them, and he's able to go ahead and tell you exactly who you are when you're talking to them. He knows a lot about us as his team. We're 5 people now on his team, and I feel like he's one of our family members now. I share with him so much. Holidays were coming up. We're like, hey, what are you guys doing? And making sure that we were always staying connected. He, to me, as well as everyone else on the team with Canon, I feel like they want to make sure that you are having that work-life balance. A lot of companies forget that now. A lot of companies, hey, you're working remote. You have to be connected 24/7. If you're not answering your laptop, why not? We're monitoring. We're looking at your KPIs. What are you getting done? I feel like Canon trusts you. They know you're an adult and you are getting your work done. They do make sure that you're not micromanaged, and they give you the liberty to go ahead and say, hey, just as long as you're producing for us, go ahead and manage your time. And I feel like that to us now, it's very important. We come from companies who before you had to sit in the office all day and they were looking at you, right, over their desk, and we would complain. But now it's like, hey, no, Canon's giving you the liberty. We're on a hybrid schedule. You're not having to be in the office every day. So I say that would be a space to go ahead and continue to just apply. If you're into that kind of work, I mean, if you like to be micromanaged, I think maybe Canon might not be a fit.
Not the place, but definitely.
That sounds great. And so let's say we have students right now, they're sold based off of the conversation that we just had. What can they do to get started? Where should they go? Like to start looking for jobs and maybe submitting an app?
So I would definitely go ahead and visit our career site. Like I said, well, like we all know, Canon's international, national account. If you do not want to stay within California, which I don't see why you would leave, it's a little cold right now, but we have really good sunny days. If you want to go out to another state, either Washington, New York, we do have accounts and opportunities that are opening up every day with the company. You would go visit our career sites, put in the information, the type of job you were looking for, either an account executive or technicians. Put the zone that you're going into, either Texas, and we go ahead and look at your resumes. I would send an email, reach out to a talent acquisition specialist, letting them know, hey, I submitted an application. Where am I in the process? Making those connections on LinkedIn. Coming out of college, I didn't stay up to date. I got a new certification. Let me go ahead and update that into my LinkedIn so that if a recruiter is looking at it, they know that I'm qualified. So I would get started that way. Like I said, uploading your resume and building that connection any way you can, and going from there.
And just really quick to piggyback off of what Carly said, definitely our website. And if you see a position on there, do not be afraid to apply. Do not disqualify yourself just because you might see the requirements are saying, oh, you need to have 3 or 5 years of this, or you need to have that. Definitely apply for that position. When I got into HR, I did not have a bachelor's degree. A lot of my positions said you must have a bachelor's degree. And I just recently graduated with my bachelor's degree about, oh my gosh, what year are we in, 23? So 2 years ago, I finally went back to school after taking a little hiatus for personal reasons and got my bachelor's degree. But I've been in HR now for over 15 years. So you see a position, don't disqualify yourself, apply to that position. But make sure you're always networking, like Carla said. Create you a LinkedIn profile. Create you an Indeed page. do those connections, go and build those networkings, and that would definitely get you started to be very successful.
Or email us.
Or email us, and we will get back to you.
That sounds great. And hopefully, if you're a student out there and you're interested in applying, that you try doing that as soon as you can. I think it's a great opportunity that you might be able to be interested in. I wanted to thank you for being on the programming today. A lot of great resources, a lot of great information for our students that may be watching this program. And just really appreciative of your time of coming on the program. That's Canon, everyone, if you are interested in applying to some of their positions. And with that, that's the end of our career conversations for this session. Please join us in the future for other career conversations that are to come. Thank you, and goodbye.
Thank you.